Hello my crafty friends, I'm so glad you could stop by Cardz TV today. This is Mary and we're going to make another card today that can be used for lots of different occasions. I found this really cute Bow Bunny 6x6 paper pad called Pincushion, and that made me think of sewing. So I'm going to sew on my card today. We'll see how that turns out because I haven't used my sewing machine in quite a while. So we'll see how that goes. But let me show you a few of these cute papers. I love these colors. They're so bright and they kind of remind me of spring. And we all need to think about spring right now, don't we guys? The weather is horrible. We had an ice storm last night, so more snow is due today. Look at that. That looks like a dress pattern. Doilies, some text. We're going to use this green and white check. Isn't that cute? Love that floral. And we're going to use this piece right here. Oh, and one more. This cute little paper that's got these little rosebuds all over it. So that's our paper pad. We'll be using the Elegant Edges cartridge, the Cricut Forever Young cartridge. Haven't used this one in a while. And one of my Cardz TV stamp sets that I've only used once, and it's been out for a while now. This is Cardz TV, so much fun, and it's all about sewing and buttons and knitting. And we've got You've Got Me in Stitches, So Stylish, Sew What's New, Cute as a Button, You're So Sweet, and that's the sentiment we're going to use today. But you could use most any of these. Stitched with Love, So Much Fun, A Stitch in Time, Button Up, Sewn in Love, So What, Thanks So Much, and over here we've got Sew in Love, Nitty Gritty, Buttons and Bows, So Long, It's So You, and I'm So Glad We're Friends. We'll start with a white card base. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. I have a black mat that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which is going right there. And here's a little cute green and white check from that paper pad, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I've gone ahead and taken some Memento Tuxedo black ink and stamped You're So Sweet right down here at the bottom, because it's going to be hard to get this stamped after I get my sewing and everything done. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere all this to the front of the card base with my ATG adhesive. Next, I wanted to put a border across the center, and I wanted it to be scalloped at the top and the bottom. So I got out my Elegant Edges cartridge, and on page 26, right down here, I found this one, and this is called Hearts 1. And I cut this out of the black cardstock at 4 inches. And it goes completely from one side to the other. Worked out perfectly. And then to go in the center of this, I've cut this really, really cute paper that's from that Bow Bunny stack. Now it's got a black and white polka dot background, and then all these cute little pink and white flowers on top with green leaves. And I cut this mat at 3 1/2 by 4, so it would fit right in there. And then I've got that scalloped edge at the top and the bottom. Now this is the part that I'm going to do the sewing on. I'm going to run a line of straight stitching at the top and the bottom. And I don't want to get any of the adhesive on my sewing needle. So I'm just going to put just a line of the ATG adhesive right down the center. And then I'll get this lined up where I want it, and then I'm going to take it up to my sewing machine. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. Well, it's not perfect, but I can live with it. I think it turned out pretty good, and it's going to go just like that. And I'm going to take these loose bobbin threads and just tuck them around on the back. And I've got some Scotch tape here, and I'm going to tape those down. And then I'll take my ATG adhesive and get this adhered to the front. Next, I've got 2 borders that have some rickrack that are going to go in the center. And this is that paper that looks like a dress pattern. and I've backed it with some black, and the black border is 1 7/8 by 4. This dress pattern border is 1 3/4 by 4. And I had some rickrack in the same color as these little flowers, so I just added that to it, and I've got that taped in the back, and I'm going to put that right across the center. So this is going to have things about sewing on it and sewing. So I'll go ahead and get that attached. Next, I got out the Forever Young cartridge, and I cut this dress form that's on page 49. This was cut at 4 inches, and the dress form was white, the shadow is black, and the top of the dress form I cut out of that little rosebud paper from that Bow Bunny stack. And here it is, and I've got it on 1 thickness of foam tape, and this is going to go right over here at kind of an angle. And then I took a Martha Stewart heart punch and punched out a little heart out of some more of that flowered paper. This is on 1 thickness of foam tape, and I had some little tiny safety pins. So I ran one through the heart, and it's, ooh, that didn't sound good, did it? It's going to go right there. And since this is all about sewing, we've got to add some buttons, right? So I've got a medium-sized button with some embroidery floss through it, and it's going to go between 2 smaller buttons, just like that. And I'll put those down with some glue dots. Now I'll get everything attached, and we'll come back and take a look at this finished card. Here's my finished card, and as you can see, I've made a few changes. I added 2 more of the little black buttons right down here to balance it out. I changed out that black floral heart for this green checked heart. I like that one much better. And I gave my little dress form a necklace by adding 3 little tiny Recollections pearls. And I like this paper so much that I made another card. This one I used the same 2 background mats, but I've cut my flowered border down to 1 inch by 4 inches, and I took my EK Success scallop punch and punched a little black border to go right down here. I used the Elegant Edges cartridge to cut this oval and shadow, and you'll find that on page 23 in the Elegant Edges handbook, and this was cut at 3 3/4 inches. Then I took Paper Studio, which is Hobby Lobby. I took this embossing folder called Quarter Foil and embossed the white mat, and this time I cut my little dress form at 3 1/4 inches, and I used a different pattern paper from the Bow Bunny stack to go on top of this. And I've got my little oval popped up on 1 thickness of foam tape. Down here I added 3 enamel dots from Recollections. I love those things. And the sentiment came from the Cardz TV Good Friends stamp set. And this is Good Friends Never Go Out of Style. And I also used Memento Tuxedo Black ink for that. So here are 2 versions of a similar card, and both can be used for a birthday, thinking of you, get well, thank you. There's just so many ways you can use these cards. But I had so much fun. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be sewing on my card a lot, but I wanted to give it a try. It was fun. But get out your sewing machine, guys, and practice on some scratch paper first, which I did, because you'll have to get your stitch length and your tension right to get it to go through 2 thicknesses of paper. And make sure you have a good strong needle as well. But it's fun, so give it a try. Thank you so much for coming by today, guys. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. And thank you for always leaving such nice comments and for subscribing. And I will see you again soon. Bye now.